So welcome to virtual yoga. Going to start in child's pose. So if you haven't already, bring your feet together and intend the hips on the heels and just begin to stretch forward. Hinging at the hips and releasing the head. You can walk those arms out as far as you'd like and then let them drop heavy. If it's more comfortable, feel free to bring a block or a pillow underneath your head. And just notice how you're feeling. Notice where you're stretching. Begin to draw the breath into the belly. On each exhale, begin to soften and release tension. Let the hips become heavier with each exhale. Feel the low, mid, and upper back softening and stretching. One more breath here. Inhale and come up, curling the toes and sitting on the heels. So coming into a stretch of the arch of the feet. If this becomes intolerable, you can just sit on the heels. We won't be here long. So staying with the breath in the belly, inhaling, expanding the belly. Exhale, release. Belly toward the spine. One more breath here. You have the option to let those arms grow, drop those shoulders. And release, come to all fours. Knees under the hips, spread those fingers, cat-cow. So inhale, extend through the spine, gentle gaze up. On your exhale, coming into cat. Carving out the belly, feeling a stretch in the upper back, pressing down through the feet. Inhale, extending in both directions through the spine. Exhale, following your breath. Do one or two full more cycles here. Inhale, extending out. Exhale, drawing in. Elbows are soft. And after your next exhale or next cat, come to all fours. We're going to sit back into that child's pose, and this time take both hands to the left. So anchoring through the hips, but stretching out toward the left. Intend the collarbone and chest wide. For more intensity, you can stack that right hand on top of the left. Focusing on pairing the breath with the movement and deepening that breath and keeping that breath into the belly. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. Both hands to the left, or excuse me, to the right. Option to stack that left hand on top of the right. Wherever you are, trying to release tension and bring more ease with the breath and softness into the body with each breath cycle. One more breath. Come back to center and spread out onto the belly, bringing the elbows under the shoulders, pressing through the hands and the feet for Sphinx pose. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, opening the front of the body as you take your gaze up. Breathe openness into the chest and into the throat. Two to three more breaths, pressing through the forearms. Slowly release down and press back in traditional child's pose. You can play with the distance of the knees, all the way together or further apart. Inhale, staying on the knees, shift forward into cobra. Squeeze the elbows close to the body. Breathing into the belly, drop the shoulders, squeeze the shoulder blades. On the exhale, shift back to child's pose, but aim the hips to the right of the legs. So the hips won't come all the way down. Those arms are at an angle, good. Couple of breaths here. One more full breath. Soften on that exhale. Inhale, center it out again, coming back into cobra. Shoulders drop, shoulder blades squeeze together. One more breath. And then slowly come back, hips go to the left this time. Hands come toward the right. One more full breath. Inhale, come all the way back onto the belly, into Sphinx, and we're going to come into a swan. So bend that left knee. An option to stay here. Option to extend that right arm, and it can reach straight back. If you can contact that foot, great. If not, just keep it reaching. Gazing up and maybe taking your gaze to the right. Listen to your body. Soften through the low back. Should never be any pain. One more breath. Release. Other side. So bend that right knee. Extend that left arm, maybe make contact. Soften and breathe, maybe pushing that foot against the hand. Push down through that right forearm. One more breath. Into Sphinx. Lowering down and bring it back to child's pose. Inhale and exhale. Shifting forward, coming onto your forearms. Hands can be separated or together. Elbows underneath those shoulders. Curl the toes, and we're going to push up to a forearm dog or dolphin. So push through the forearms. Head is floating, never touches down. Push through those arms. Let the head float. Push through those lifted heels. And if this is a good place to breathe evenly, stay here. If you'd like a little more intensity, bring the feet closer together, still pushing through the forearms. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale and exhale here. Stay for a few more breaths. Drop those knees. Child's pose, hands come next to the feet. Releasing into all fours. Curling the toes and coming into our first downward facing dog. Pushing through the fingertips, shaking the head free. Begin to pedal out the legs. Alternating, heels going down toward the earth. Tailbone lifts high to the ceiling. Anchoring more and more through the lower body. More breath. And then walking the feet in, the outside of the hands, staying right where you are. I'm going to turn so you can see what I'm doing more. And coming into garland or a yoga squat. So if those heels come down to the ground, that's great. Lifting the torso as much as you can. You can make this balance, or you can bring the hands down to the ground. Let the tension slide down the back. One more breath. Stand up right where you are. And come right back down into it. Taking a twist. So taking that right hand down, opening up to the left. Intend to anchor through the hips and the heels. Center, other side. One more breath. Unwind and release, square off the feet. So feet are about hip width apart. We're going to do a forward fold variation. So inhale halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Hands hang or hold on to opposite elbows. Arms framing the head. Knees can be deeply or slightly bent. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, release the arms. Come to mountain pose. So square off those feet. Hip width apart or closer. Dropping the shoulders from the ears. Just gonna adjust the camera a little bit here. Come into our flow now. Making this your practice, coming to child's pose, down dog, or another preferred pose at any time. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step or jump back into high plank. Option to drop those knees. Shoulders are over the wrists. Squeeze the elbows tight, shift forward, slowly lower down, chaturanga. Drop the knees, chest, chin. Baby cobra, using the upper back to lift up. Pushing back through all fours and coming to down dog. When you come to down dog here, stay for 3 to 4 breaths. And then after that, we're going to bend the knees and gaze forward. Step or jump for feet in between those hands and rise. We're going to stay here for about 3 to 4 minutes. Go at your own pace. I'll talk it through a couple of more times. And then just flow and let the breath guide you. Exhale, forward fold. If you miss a step or two, it's okay. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step or jump back to high plank. Inhale, shift forward, squeeze the elbows. On an exhale, slowly lower down. Inhale, baby cobra. Always do full cobra as well. On an exhale, down dog. Taking 3 to 4 breath cycles here. Drop the head, tailbone lifts, elbows strong in, shoulders are broad. Heels are anchored toward or on the mat. After you breathe several cycles here, bend the knees and gaze forward. Step or jump in between his hands and rise. Mountain repeat. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Step or jump back, high plank. Building heat and energy in the body. Shifting forward, 4-limb pose or chaturanga. Cobra. Down dog, 3 to 4 breaths. Keep this flow going. Listening to your body, tapping into your breath. Continue to breathe and flow. Oh, one more minute here. Maybe starting your last flow or finishing your last flow while meet in down dog. Take all the time you need. So making the way to down dog, shake the head free. Bring those feet together. Still in down dog, lifting that left leg. Three-legged dog. Bending the knee and now letting it drift over to the right. Squaring off and setting that leg down. Inhale, lifting that right leg. Three-legged dog, about hip height. Bend the knee and letting it drift to the left. Unwind, release. Bend the knees, gaze forward, step or gently squeeze in between the hands. Inhale, come up. Exhale, take it right back down. Inhale halfway. Exhale, forward fold. This time the feet are probably closer than hip width apart. Holding on to opposite elbows, hinging and hanging and breathing here. Allowing the back of the legs, whole back body to lengthen and soften. Release, inhale, come up. And come to mountain. So moving in to a different flow, Sun B now. But pausing first. And opening up the neck, you're going to slide that left hand behind you. Take the right hand and hold on to that left wrist. Engage the core so you're not curving that back too much. Gently draw the left arm behind you. Drop those shoulders, breathe here. Inhale, lengthen, and drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Drop the shoulders even more. Slowly unwind. Inhale, shrug both shoulders up, release back and down. Just pause, see if you notice any difference. Now right hand comes behind, grabbing with that left hand. Inhale, lengthen, left ear to the left shoulder, making sure you're doing the opposite side. Crown of the head, reaching to the left wall. And release. Turning to the top of the mat. Maybe inhale, shrugging the shoulders up, together and back one more time. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step that right foot back. Come into a left lunge. Make sure that left foot is far enough in front of you so that knee is behind the toes. If not, step that left foot forward. Square off the hips and maybe drop that back knee. Inhale and exhale. Lifting up for crescent. So back heel is lifted. Again, option to drop that knee to the ground. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, hinge and reach. Exhale here. Inhale, come up. Making this a sequence. Exhale, extend. Belly to the spine. Inhale, lift. Here with your breath. One or two more times. Drop those hands down. Right hand comes to the contact, left arm reaches up. Left lunge twist. Release, step back into down dog. Inhale, exhale here. Staying here, always have the option to come to mini vinyasa, which is coming back to that plank and then coming back down to chaturanga, cobra or up dog, and then back to down dog. You can always come right to down dog. Inhale, lift that right leg. Exhale, bring it through. Right foot to the top of the mat. Option to drop that left knee. Inhale, exhale. When ready, lifting up. Crescent or high lunge. Back heel is lifted. Inhale here. Exhale, hinge forward. Nice long spine. Inhale, lift. Following your breath. One more. Setting the hands down, especially that left. Pressing through that lifted left heel, revolving right lunge twist. Unwind. Walk toward the left, so you're going to stand wide. It's okay if you're not sitting, just a wide stance. Hands on the ground. Hinge at the hips, let the head drop. More intensity, walk the hands back toward the back wall. Wide angle forward fold. Shifting, trying to even out the balance on all four corners of each foot. And walking back around to that right lunge and stepping left foot to meet the right. Reverse swan dive, arms come up, mountain. Inhale, arms come up, exhale, forward fold. Inhale halfway, exhale, forward fold. This time, step that left foot back first, right lunge. Sink into the hips. Front knee is always behind the toes. Rotate that back foot at an angle, about 45 degrees, set the heel down. We're gonna windmill up and straighten all four limbs, gaze to the right, triangle. Back hip goes to the back wall, reaching. Reach as far as you can with the right fingers and come hinging to a contact. So a hand can touch a leg, a block in front of the leg, Trikonasana. Inhale and exhale. Gazing forward or maybe up if your neck allows. Finding the breath. Inhale, belly. Inflates gently. Exhale, softening. Release the belly to the spine. Staying for a few more breaths. From here, rotate to the right. Hands come to blocks or to the ground. Step the back foot in. It's still angled. Step it in enough so you can square your hips and then put that back heel down. Coming to pyramid pose. So bend the front knee. Just let the torso go. It's uncomfortable. Bend your knee deeper. Always have the option to straighten that knee as you're able, but make sure you're fully hinging at the hips, letting the head go. Breathe openness. Maybe envision the breath starting in the back of that right leg. Where are you holding on? Maybe releasing the shoulders or the hips, the neck. Keeping that back foot anchored. Left hand comes to contact, can be the ground, can be that right leg or a block. Right hand comes on the right hip. So we're going to rotate, but the rotation is through the spine. So gently begin to rotate into reverse triangle. Square, take your gaze to the right, maybe pause here. If your body allows, lift that right arm, continue to rotate. Again, never forced, breathing here. Two to three more breaths. Slowly unwind and take it to down dog. Inhale, lift that left leg. Bring it all the way through, left lunge. Roll the shoulders back, chest open, sink into the hips. When you're ready, rotate that right foot at an angle. Windmill up, straightening the legs, preparing for triangle. Shifting the right hip back, reaching to the left, and finding your triangle. Top hand reaches actively. A few more breaths. Softening into it a little bit more. And again, to rotate toward that left foot, squaring off the hips and stepping that right foot in just enough so you can square the hips and seal that foot back down. Then the front knee. Release the torso into pyramid. Begin to straighten that front knee or breathe intention and openness into that left hamstring. One more breath. Right hand finds a contact, left hand on the hip. Lengthen through the spine, begin to rotate through the spine. To the left, right foot is sealed. Maybe the left arm lifts. Not, it's absolutely fine keeping it on the hip. So get the same benefits through the spine, and the digestive system. Slowly unwind and walk the hands toward the right, standing wide again. This time, placing both hands palm down onto a contact. Softening here, gazing a few inches so that neck is in line with the spine for just a few breaths here. I'm going to come to half wheel, so slide that left hand under the nose, rotate through the spine again, reaching and lifting to the right. Unwind, right hand slides under the nose, left arm reaches. Unwind, rotate back over that left foot. Left lunge, step that right foot to meet the left. Reverse swan dive. And come to the top of the mat. Mountain. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Right foot steps back, left foot to the top of the mat. Rotate that back heel. Lifting up for warrior one. Sinking in to pick up, similar to crescent, but that back heel is pushed down. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, chest opens, 2 more breaths. From here, step that back foot in, square off the hips, extend the arms, coming to warrior three. 2 options here. Option 1 is to lift the leg toward hip height, reaching those arms. Option 2 is to bring those hands down, square off the hips, supported warrior three. Do what's best for you today, alignment-wise and ability to breathe. Walk it back in, stretch back to that left lunge, step it back to down dog. Inhale, right leg lifts, bring it through right lunge. Rotate that back foot down, lifting for warrior one. Pushing to the outside of that back foot. 2 to 3 more breaths. Maybe sinking out a little more in the next exhale. And then when you're ready, stepping forward, squaring those hips for warrior three, traditional or supported, belly to the spine. Find your pose. There is that just right challenge today. Stepping back into that right lunge. Walking it wide again. This time standing up and angling those feet. I'm going to come into sunflowers and stars. So inhale, star, reaching up. Exhale, hips come back, almost like a squat, scooping up the sunflowers, maybe staying for a breath or two. Option to rock, going at your own pace. Follow your breath. Inhale, exhale. Staying here for about 30 seconds to a minute. One more. And in star, rotate back, step to the top of the mat. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Left foot steps back, right lunge. Rotate that left foot and windmill up. Bend in the front hip and knee, squaring off to the side, gazing over the right fingertips, warrior two. Inhale and exhale. Reverse warrior, left hand goes down, right arm lifts up. Side angle, so we're going to come back into the warrior two legs. That forearm can rest on the thigh, or you can bring the arm and press the arm and leg into each other. Revolve out and stretch that arm overhead. Parvakasana, side angle. Outside edge of that left foot is your anchor. I'm going to come into dancing warrior, which is combining this and then the reverse warrior we just did. Listening to your breath. So maybe for a breath or two, come into reverse warrior. Exhale, or breath 3 and 4, side angle. Do what feels best for your body. Dynamic strength and balance. Drop the shoulders, drop the tongue. One more cycle. Ending in side angle. And release into that right lunge and step it back to down dog. Breathing, staying in down dog. Option today, Mini Vinyasa, which is that plank. Chaturanga, up dog. And then meeting down dog. Once you're in down dog, drop the head. Shake it yes and no. Inhale, lift that left leg. Three-legged dog, bring it through. Left lunge. Chest opens, shoulders come back. Rotate that back foot. Windmill, warrior two. Shoulders drop, pressing down to an imaginary surface. Gazing over the left fingertips. 4 to 5 more breaths. Feel like the feet are trying to pull the mat apart. And when you're ready, reverse warrior. Deep or slight bend in the front knee. And release, we'll come to side angle. So forearm can be on the leg or in front. Wherever you feel like you get that most rotation and openness to the side. So that front leg, we're leaning toward that front leg. And reaching over, there we go, good. And then coming into your dancing warrior when you're ready. Again, it can be half a breath, full breath, couple breaths in each, flowing as you'd like. Continue to release and open. side angle. And coming back to that left lunge, stepping that right foot to meet the left. Inhale halfway, exhale forward fold. Hands can hang or hold on to opposite elbows, breathe. Reverse swan dive and come to mountain. So take it down now. Standing in mountain for a breath or two. Inhale, arms come up, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step or jump back all the way to high plank. Option to drop those knees, holding here. Shifting forward, 2 more breaths. Shift forward, squeeze those elbows, slowly lower down to chaturanga. And rest your belly savasana. One hand on top of the other, rest the head. Continue to bring those legs together. Imagine zipping them up in the inner thigh line. Coming into locust. So you're going to bring those hands next to you. Palms can be up or towards you. Pull the shoulders back. We'll just do the upper body first. So those legs are just going to push together and down. So inhale, lift, reach with those arms. Gaze forward, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Good, a couple more breaths. And release, Belly Savasana. And we'll do the lower half. So your arms can be next to you here, palm down, or if you'd like, you can take fists underneath the thighs, or palm down, or palm up underneath the thighs. Inhale, we're gonna lift the legs. Might be a tendency to look down. There is for me. Fight that and look up. Squeeze the glutes, good. Squeeze those legs together. And 2 more breaths. And rest, Belly Savasana. So we're going to intend to do full locust 2 times. You have the option of repeating what we just did. First upper body, then lower body. Or you can do full locust. So for full locust, arms will be next to you, either palms facing you or up. Squeeze those legs. We're lifting from the core. So belly to the spine, lift, reach those arms, squeeze those legs together. Go ahead. Shoulders drop down and back. 2 more breaths. And rest, Belly Savasana. Maybe rocking from side to side, releasing that low back a little bit. And then 1 more time. So maybe lower half of the body or full locust. When you're ready. Lift from the core, breathe into the belly. Feel the belly expand down on the inhale. And soften, belly to the spine on the exhale. 2 to 3 more breaths. Breathe into your strength. And your next exhale. Slowly release, Belly Savasana. Very slowly from here, I'm going to push up to all 4s. And do what feels good here. It might be a cat-cow. Really gentle on that low back. Might be wagging the dog. Bring the hip and shoulder together from side to side. Could be puppy dog with the hips lifted and stretching out with those child pose arms. Maybe it's all 3. Maybe it's something different. Take time here sure that low back is good. And then we'll come to seated. Take all the time you need. If you have a strap, go ahead and grab it. If not, that's okay. We'll start in seated pose here. Ground through the sit bones, sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, shoulders up, back and down. And from here, you're going to swing both legs to the left. So you're going to sit on that right hip. Twist toward the right. So inhale, lift, exhale, twist. Drop those shoulders. Drop into the sit bones, especially the right hip. Inhale. Come through center and now twist to the other side. A little different than we usually do. Drop into both sit bones. And unwind. Switching over onto the left hip, swing the legs to the right. Sitting up nice and tall. Inhale. Twist to the left. Drop into the sit bones. One breath. Come through center, inhale, exhale, other side. Where you are, deep full breathing here. And unwind. So bring those feet in front of you, and if you have a strap, go ahead and strap the balls of both feet. Sitting up nice and tall, maybe taking the flesh off the sit bones. Padmasana, two-legged forward fold. So inhale, hinge at the hips and reach. When you feel resistance in the back of the legs, just let this hand strap to contact. Maybe the legs or the ground, strap. Pull onto that contact, so you're opening the chest. And then just gently tuck the chin. So we're getting a nice straight spine. Imagining someone's pulling the shoulders back. But then softening through the hips. Breathing and folding into the vertebra, staying and breathing here. Actively pressing down through the back of the legs, feet are flexed. 10 to 12 more breaths. Soften the tongue to the low palate. Soften the tops of the legs, the quads. And then those arms are in contact with the body or strap to the ground. Soften through the arms. A few more breaths. And slowly roll up. So go ahead and square off those feet. Go hip width apart. Cup underneath those knees. We're going to do seated cat-cow. So using the core, inhale, going to lift up at an angle, squeeze those shoulder blades, gaze up. Exhale, hands are just to contact. Use the core, carve out the belly. go back. So using those abs, inhale, lifting up. Also making sure that back is released. And carving out the belly, reaching back, lifting up. And when you carve out that belly, leaning back, getting a nice stretch through the back. And then coming up to seated and coming into a straddle. So taking the hands, you can bend the knees, you can take the peace fingers and bring them around the big toe, and then extend those legs. So if it's uncomfortable, you can bring the legs in more. So you're gonna pull on those big toes, drawing in with the elbows, lifting up, drop those shoulders. So pressing through the backs of the legs down into the ground, hinge at the hips and fold. Forward bends are calming. Doing this to tap into that calming energy before our final resting pose, Savasana. Increasing that flexibility with the hamstrings and back. Maybe taking the breath and directing it to an area of tightness. Maybe it's both hamstrings, maybe it's one side first and the other. Maybe it's holding in the neck and the shoulders, maybe the jaw. Maybe it's inviting the arms to go heavy. Staying in this forward posture, release those hands, bring them down to the ground. Maybe the forearms come, maybe it's the hands. Allow the shoulders to release down the back now. Arms really drop. Gently turn to the left, take those arms onto the left leg or on either side of the left leg, and fold down toward the left leg. Dropping, continue to soften through the sit bones. If you want more of an intense stretch, maybe reaching toward the foot with an arm or both arms. And slowly taking it back through center, pausing for a breath or two. Seeing if you can release back into it. And then when you're ready, rotating through the spine to the right leg. Stretching from the base of the spine through the crown of the head. Coming back to center one more time. Softening into it. Great softness into the glutes, around the sit bones. And then slowly rise. Maybe shake out those legs. And it's time for Savasana. So you can put your legs up a wall here in person or at home. You can lay in traditional Savasana. I'm going to turn off my video just for a couple of minutes. If you get to a place where you can be completely comfortable, allowing those hands palm up, arms and shoulders drop. Maybe the knees are bent with the feet on the ground.
Maybe the legs are heavy on the earth. They're heavy on the earth. Let the legs release outward, softening from head to toe, toe to head. Stilling the body and mind. Inhale, observe. Exhale, soften and release. Next inhale, gently begin to bring movement back into the body. Maybe wiggling the fingers and toes, maybe hugging the knees to the chest, releasing the head from one side to the other. Just notice your natural breath. Take all the time you need. When you're ready, roll over to one side. You can use that bottom arm as a pillow. Join the knees toward the chest and the chin toward the chest. Sinking and releasing into that side body that's on the ground. Gazing inward toward the heart center, connecting with the breath and noticing how you feel compared to when you stepped on your mat tonight. Maybe taking one pose, and this can include Savasana. It's actually the most important pose that you can do. And maybe making a resolution to incorporate that at least one more time until next week, until we meet again. And when you're ready, slowly drawing up to a seated position. Hands come to heart center. Inhale, let the arms rise. Exhale, coming back to heart center. Thank you everyone for joining me. Namaste. Thank you. Virtual people, thank you very much. Let me know if you have any questions.
All right, Lisa, thank you. Have a
All
good
right, thanks. See you next week, Denise. Thanks, Julie. Thanks, Stephanie.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thanks, Beth.
Good to see you.